The ground trembled before the roar even reached their ears. It wasn't a sound like any earthly predator. They had heard lions, tigers, even the massive sand predators of nearby planets. But this was different. Deep, resonant, almost intelligent, the roar rolled across the colony like a shockwave, rattling walls and shaking vehicles. People froze, eyes wide, hearts pounding. On the horizon, through the swirling dust storm, a massive shadow emerged, moving with impossible speed. The creature was enormous, at least twice the size of a normal lion, with powerful limbs and muscles rippling under golden fur streaked with strange, shimmering patterns. Its eyes glowed a molten amber, scanning the colony with intelligence and hunger. "Get inside. Do not approach it," someone shouted, but it was almost meaningless. The alien lion didn't merely move, it dominated. Each step shook the ground, and the air reeked of something acrid, like burnt metal and raw ozone. The colony's top animal handlers and mercenaries had already arrived, armed with nets, tranquilizers, and sonic devices designed for the deadliest predators. Yet nothing worked. Each attempt to corner or sedate the creature ended in chaos. Nets shredded in midair. Tranquilizer darts bounced harmlessly off its thick hide. Sonic devices emitted piercing shrieks, but the lion adapted instantly, moving faster, smarter, more lethal than anyone expected. Screams filled the air. A drone exploded in mid-flight. And then, just like that, the beast moved on, leaving destruction and terrified silence behind. Inside the reinforced command center, officers shouted over the alarms, trying to maintain order. "We've lost another team," Lieutenant Kellen barked, voice strained. "It anticipates every move. It's not just an animal, it's..." He stopped, unsure how to finish. None of them had ever faced anything like this. Rumors spread quickly among the colonists. Some whispered it was a weapon from a rogue planet, genetically engineered for war. Others swore it had always been here, hiding in the desert, waiting. No one could agree on what it was, but everyone agreed on one thing: it was unstoppable. And then, as chaos reigned, a lone figure approached. Not armored. Not armed. Just a human, wearing a worn veterinarian's uniform, carrying a small medical kit. Colonists watching from behind barricades laughed nervously. "Are they serious?" one muttered. "That human's going to die." The human moved slowly, deliberately, keeping their eyes locked on the alien lion. There was no fear in their posture, only observation, a quiet focus. Each step seemed calculated, each pause intentional. The creature stopped mid-step, tilting its head as if noticing something no one else could see. Its low rumble shifted, almost curious. From a safe distance, the colonists whispered. "They can't survive that. Why are they even trying?" Yet the human continued, unflinching. No nets. No weapons. Just study, patience, and an uncanny calm. The alien lion crouched, muscles coiled like springs, tail flicking. Its amber eyes never left the human, watching, calculating. For a moment, it was as if the world itself had paused. The dust swirled around them, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The roar had faded into silence, replaced by a low vibration from the creature's chest, a sound almost like a warning, but also a question. The human knelt, gently placing their kit on the ground, fingers brushing lightly over small instruments, not for defense, but observation. The lion's head tilted slightly, ear flicking. Slowly, it inched closer. Each step measured, wary. The colony collectively held its breath, unable to look away. Lieutenant Kellen whispered from the command center, almost to himself, "If anyone can do it, maybe it's them." And there, on the barren landscape, predator and human faced one another, each studying the other in tense silence. The alien lion, the terror of the colony, might have finally met someone who could understand it, not with weapons, but with something far stranger: patience, courage, and curiosity. This was the beginning. No one knew what would happen next, but the impossible had just started to unfold. The alien lion had retreated to the jagged cliffs outside the colony, but the destruction it left behind was a vivid reminder: no one could approach it without risking death. Vehicles were crushed, walls were shattered, and scorched earth marked the path of its rampage. The colony was on edge. Every time the wind kicked up the dust, people jumped, half expecting the beast to appear from the haze. Professional teams were assembled to try again. These were the galaxy's best animal handlers and mercenaries, veterans of countless dangerous encounters. They arrived armed with high-tech equipment, energy nets designed to restrain even massive predators, tranquilizer drones with adaptive dosing, sonic disruptors that could disorient a herd of giant alien grazers. None of it mattered. The first team approached cautiously, flanking the beast from two sides. From their position behind a jagged rock formation, they activated their nets. The alien lion's head snapped toward them, eyes glowing bright, and with a terrifying leap, it shattered the first net in a single swipe. Tranquilizer darts bounced off its hide, leaving faint scorch marks but no other effect. One handler screamed as a claw tore through the drone controlling the darts, sending it spiraling into the air before crashing to the ground. The second team tried a different approach, using sonic disruptors to confuse it. The device emitted a high-pitched wail that would have disoriented a dozen lesser predators. But the alien lion tilted its massive head, and with a low growl that resonated through the cliffs, it advanced. Each step was precise, avoiding traps, anticipating moves, almost as if it could read their strategy before it was executed. A net shot from another squad wrapped around one leg, and was shredded instantly. Screams erupted as the lion spun violently, scattering the team. Equipment was torn apart, weapons destroyed, and one of the mercenaries vanished under a sweep of its tail before the others could react. Inside the colony, Lieutenant Kellen gritted his teeth as he watched the footage from the drones. It's learning, he muttered. It's adapting faster than we can think. His voice was edged with panic. No one had ever seen anything like this before, no predator, no alien, no weaponized beast. Every strategy failed. Every plan was countered. And each failure made the alien lion more confident, more dangerous. Outside, the human vet watched from a safe distance, noting each movement. While others panicked, the vet's eyes tracked patterns. How it shifted its weight before striking, how its tail flicked when it calculated a path, the subtle rhythm of its breathing, these details were invisible to everyone else. To them, it was chaos, to the vet, it was observation. The colony tried everything over the next several hours. Nets, energy shields, automated drones, sedatives, even explosives in a desperate attempt to corner it. Each attempt ended in destruction. One veteran handler shouted in frustration, throwing down his weapon. It's impossible. No one can survive this beast. By sunset, the alien lion stood atop a rocky plateau, scanning the horizon, seemingly unchallenged. Fires burned around its path. Broken vehicles and shattered fences littered the valley. It let out a roar that echoed for miles, a sound that sent chills through everyone listening. And yet, from a distance, the human vet remained calm. Not reckless, calm. Some colonists had started murmuring among themselves. Maybe that human, maybe they see something we don't. Another voice replied, almost in disbelief, they're a fool if they think they can do anything. No one has survived this close to it. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the alien lion's glowing eyes reflected the fiery light of the destroyed equipment. Shadows stretched across the valley, the perfect silhouette of a monster no one could conquer. And in those shadows, the human vet continued observing, studying, planning the first step that no one else could even imagine. It was clear, the professionals had failed. Every strategy had been countered. Every plan destroyed. And yet, somehow, hope lingered, not in weapons, not in technology, but in a single human who dared to approach a creature that had brought an entire colony to its knees. The night fell, and the colony braced itself for what would come next. If the alien lion moved again, it could be catastrophic. But somewhere in the darkness, a quiet determination grew. While everyone else fled or fought, the human vet prepared. Tomorrow, they would take the first step toward something no one had dared attempt, understanding the beast instead of trying to kill it. And that step could change everything. The sun had barely risen when the human vet stepped out of the colony, moving toward the alien lion with a calmness that made everyone watching hold their breath. The previous day's chaos still scarred the landscape, scorched earth, shattered vehicles, and the remnants of failed traps littered the valley. The alien lion, perched atop the jagged cliffs, watched silently, its glowing amber eyes following the human's approach. The colonists hid behind reinforced walls, some peeking through cracked windows, some gripping weapons they would never dare use. Lieutenant Kellen muttered under his breath, they're insane, or brilliant. I can't tell which. The human vet stopped at a distance that was safe enough to avoid the lion's immediate strike but close enough to observe its movements in detail. Slowly, deliberately, they set down their medical kit. Every movement was calm, precise. Unlike the previous teams that had charged with weapons and force, the human brought nothing but patience. The alien lion crouched low, tail flicking, muscles tense like coiled springs. Its growl was low, almost a vibration through the ground. For a moment, time seemed to slow. The colony could feel the tension in every molecule of air, every whisper of the wind, every distant bird that froze mid-flight. Then, the human did something no one expected. They spoke. Softly. A low, steady voice that carried no command, no fear, no aggression, just calm observation. The words were alien to the colonists, a mix of soothing tones and carefully modulated frequencies designed to resonate without threatening. The lion paused, ears flicking. Its massive head tilted, and for the first time, it didn't advance, didn't attack, didn't roar. The vet knelt slowly, placing a small device on the ground. It was nothing lethal, just a scanner and some measuring instruments. They moved with deliberate caution, always keeping the lion in sight, never making sudden gestures. The creature watched, curious but still tense. Its growl subsided into a low rumble, one that seemed almost like consideration. Minutes passed. Every second felt like an hour to the colonists watching from a distance. The alien lion shifted, muscles tensing as if testing the human's patience. Then it took a step forward. Not a strike, not a swipe, but a step. Its massive paw touched the scorched ground, and it stopped, amber eyes fixed on the human. The vet's hand hovered near the kit, ready to use whatever tools might be necessary, but they didn't reach for a weapon. Instead, they extended a single finger toward the lion, slowly, deliberately, as if offering a silent truce. The lion's eyes narrowed, nostrils flaring, whiskers twitching. The air was thick with anticipation, every colonist holding their breath as they watched the impossible unfold. Then, the lion lowered its head slightly, sniffing the air. Its tail flicked once, twice, and for the first time, the sound wasn't a growl, it was a curious rumble, almost like a purr. The vet stayed still, calm, waiting. The moment stretched, fragile as glass. A sudden movement, the lion leaned slightly closer, eyes never leaving the human. The vet slowly touched the ground, placing a hand just a few feet away from the lion's paw. The beast sniffed, hesitated, then inched forward again, massive paw brushing the soil near the human's hand without striking. The colony gasped, unable to comprehend the scene. Lieutenant Kellen whispered, almost in awe, they might actually do it. The vet continued speaking softly, scanning the lion's reactions. Every flick of an ear, every tail twitch, every subtle shift in posture was being noted, recorded, and responded to with perfect timing. Slowly, impossibly, the alien lion sat down, massive body coiling in the dust, but still calm, still focused on the human. It was the first real contact. The first moment the colony had seen the monster hesitate, consider, and not attack. The impossible was happening. A bond, however fragile, had begun. And the human vet, laughed at, feared for, and dismissed by everyone else, was at the center of it. The valley was silent except for the gentle rumble of the alien lion and the soft breathing of the vet. Outside, the colony watched, hearts racing. If this continued, if the vet could maintain this fragile connection, perhaps the unstoppable creature could finally be understood, and maybe, just maybe, tamed. The first step had been taken. The human had survived, the alien lion had paused, and the impossible had begun. But everyone knew, this was only the beginning. One misstep, one wrong move, and the nightmare could return in a heartbeat. The dawn was fragile, barely spilling light over the jagged cliffs, but the alien lion had not moved from its perch. Its massive amber eyes followed every twitch of the human vet, who crouched low, studying its breathing, muscles, and subtle movements. For the colony watching from behind barricades, the scene was breathtaking and terrifying. No one could breathe. The vet knew the danger. One wrong move, one sudden gesture, and this encounter could turn deadly in an instant. But they were patient, calm, and meticulous. Today, the goal wasn't to force the lion into submission, it was to make it see them as something other than a threat. Carefully, the vet reached into their kit and pulled out a small device. It wasn't a weapon, it was a scanner designed to record vital signs, track subtle emotional cues, and detect stress patterns. The vet placed it on the ground, just a few feet from the lion, then stepped back slowly. Every motion was deliberate, showing neither fear nor aggression. The alien lion's tail flicked sharply, but its body remained coiled, tense but restrained. It sniffed at the device, head lowering, nostrils flaring, before retreating slightly. The vet spoke softly, low tones resonating through the valley. The alien lion's growl didn't return, only a cautious rumble, as if it was listening, weighing the situation. Minutes passed. Hours, perhaps, it was impossible to tell. Time seemed suspended. Then, the impossible happened. The lion took a slow, measured step forward, paw pressing into the scorched earth with careful precision. The vet did not flinch. Their hand moved slightly, resting near the kit, open and visible. No sudden motions, no challenge, just observation and patience. A small sound, a whimper, almost inaudible, escaped the lion. The colonists inside the command center froze. None had heard anything like it before. Lieutenant Kellen whispered, It's responding to them. His voice was hushed, reverent, fearful. The vet spoke again, this time in soft phrases, blending tones and vibrations to convey calm. The alien lion's eyes narrowed, then softened, just fractionally. Slowly, it lowered its massive head toward the ground, sniffing near the kit. The vet remained still, letting the creature dictate the pace. 1 step. 2 steps. Then a paw extended near the vet's hand, hesitant, testing, curious. The vet mirrored the lion's slow, careful approach. Hand outstretched, they allowed the massive paw to brush lightly against the back of their fingers. The alien lion froze. Amber eyes locked with human eyes. Silence fell over the valley, broken only by the faint crackle of dust under the lion's paw. The vet did not move. They spoke softly, almost in a whisper, It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. The lion's body relaxed fractionally. Its growl, once so fierce, was gone. Instead, a low, rumbling purr-like sound emanated from its chest, a sound the colony had never imagined a creature of such destructive power could produce. Then came the first true test. From the cliffs above, a gust of wind sent loose rocks clattering across the valley floor. The alien lion twitched instinctively, muscles coiling. It flinched toward the vet, but instead of striking, it paused, glanced at them, and slowly returned to its previous posture. The vet had not given a command, not made a gesture, yet the creature trusted them enough to resist the instinct to attack. The colonists erupted in whispered awe. They're actually doing it. It's listening to them. Lieutenant Kellen's hands trembled as he spoke into his communicator. Everyone, just watch. No interference. Don't scare it. For the first time since the alien lion's arrival, hope sparked in the colony. This was the turning point. The human vet, the one everyone had laughed at, the one who seemed foolish for approaching a monster no one else could touch, was earning the beast's trust. Every measured movement, every calm breath, every gesture of patience was paying off. As the sun climbed higher, the alien lion shifted, lowering its massive body fully to the ground, resting beside the vet's kit but still alert. Its eyes never left them. The bond was fragile, yes, but it existed. And the vet knew this was only the beginning. One more misstep, one moment of impatience, and it could all collapse. But for now, the impossible had begun. A creature that had terrified an entire colony had accepted the presence of a single human. The vet reached into their kit again, slower this time, carefully producing a small container of food, nutrient-dense, safe for alien physiology. No sudden movement. No challenge. Just a gift, extended with patience. The alien lion sniffed, then leaned forward, nibbling cautiously. A moment later, the vet gently spoke, soft tones mingling with the beast's low purr. Trust was beginning to grow. And the colony, watching in silent awe, knew that the real story, the story of the human who might tame the untamable, was only starting to unfold. The alien lion lay in the dust, massive body coiled but calm, its amber eyes fixed on the human vet. For the first time since it had arrived, the beast was quiet, not tense, not aggressive, just alert and watchful. The colony held its breath, every eye glued to the scene. Even the wind seemed to pause, as if the planet itself recognized the moment. The vet slowly extended a hand toward the lion, fingertips brushing lightly over its coarse, shimmering fur. The creature didn't flinch. Its tail, once whipping violently in rage, now swayed gently, almost like a pendulum in rhythm with the vet's slow, measured breathing. The colony gasped. No one had ever seen anything like this, a predator of unimaginable power, completely still, letting a human approach. From behind the walls, Lieutenant Kellen whispered, "This is unbelievable." Others nodded, faces pale and tense with disbelief. Every professional handler who had tried before, every weapon that had failed, every plan that had collapsed, it all seemed irrelevant now. The vet produced a small piece of nutrient gel from their kit, extending it toward the lion. Slowly, cautiously, the creature sniffed, then took it gently, chewing and swallowing. There was no aggression, no snapping, only cautious acceptance. The vet spoke softly, words of reassurance and calm, while keeping their gaze steady. Then came the true test. A sudden movement in the valley, a rogue drone lost control, buzzing erratically toward the lion. The beast's body tensed instantly, instinct screaming. But instead of attacking the intruder, the alien lion glanced at the vet. A deep rumble escaped its chest, a signal, almost like it was asking permission. The vet held out a hand, calm and unwavering. The lion relaxed. The drone drifted past harmlessly, and the beast resumed its resting position beside the human. The colony erupted in whispers of astonishment. It's obeying them? Not obeying, listening. Lieutenant Kellen's voice cracked with awe. They've done the impossible. The vet gently placed a hand on the lion's shoulder. The creature leaned into the touch, massive muscles pressing slightly against the human, a sign of trust unlike anything the colony had seen. For the first time, the alien lion was not a monster, it was a partner, a being capable of connection, tamed not by force but by understanding. Days passed, and the bond only grew stronger. The alien lion followed the vet calmly, responding to soft commands and subtle gestures. It no longer destroyed equipment or attacked anyone who approached cautiously. Where it had once been a symbol of terror, it became a living testament to patience, courage, and empathy. The colony slowly began to rebuild, emboldened by the presence of the creature that had once seemed unstoppable. Children peeked from windows to see the massive lion lounging peacefully beside the vet. Traders and engineers marveled at the calm that had descended over the valley. The impossible had become reality. Lieutenant Kellen stood in the command center, observing from a distance. "I never thought I'd see it," he said softly. "No one else could have done this. Only I them." He shook his head, disbelief and admiration mixing on his face. And the vet? They simply continued their work, calm and focused. They treated minor injuries, recorded the lion's behaviors, and learned every subtle signal it gave. To the outside world, it might have seemed miraculous. To the vet, it was science, observation, and above all, respect for a living being that everyone else had called untamable. The alien lion had been feared by all, dismissed as impossible to control. But one human, patient and fearless, had shown that understanding could conquer fear, and courage could tame the untamable. The colony would remember this moment for generations, a story of hope and bravery, of a bond that defied every expectation. And high on the cliffs, the alien lion's amber eyes glowed in the sunset, calm, aware, and forever changed, just like the human who had dared to step forward when everyone else had fled. The impossible was no longer impossible.